You probably think your dog loves toys, treats, or long walks the most. But the truth is, what they cherish goes far deeper. Your dog spends their whole life waiting for tiny moments that to them mean everything. Moments you might overlook. The way you say their name. The quiet minutes you spend sitting beside them. The calm tone in your voice when the world gets loud. They don't need much. Just your time, your warmth, your presence. Because to your dog, love isn't something you say. It's something you do 1,000 small times in 1,000 quiet ways. Today, we'll explore 10 small actions that speak louder than any words. Acts so simple yet so powerful, they shape the way your dog feels, trusts, and loves you for life. And once you hear them, you'll never look at your dog the same way again. 1. Be with them in their world. Your dog doesn't want more toys or fancy treats. What they truly long for is you. Not the version of you that's busy half listening or checking your phone, but the one who is fully there, heart open, mind quiet. Dogs live in a world of moments. They don't replay yesterday and they don't worry about tomorrow. To them, every breath, every look, every shared silence is life itself. When you sit beside your dog without rushing off, when you just let them rest their head on your knee while the world keeps spinning outside, that's when they feel it. That's when they know they belong. Science even proves it. Researchers found that a dog's oxytocin, the love hormone, rises whenever their owner gives them undivided attention. The same chemical that bonds a child to a parent. All it takes is 10 quiet minutes. 10 minutes where you simply exist together. Because when you walk past them, distracted day after day, they notice. That gentle wag slows down. Their eyes follow you, waiting for a moment that never comes. They don't get angry, they just quietly miss you. So maybe tonight before you sleep, just sit beside them. Let the room be silent. Feel the warmth of their body against yours. Watch how they sigh, how their whole body softens the moment you stay still. That's what they've been waiting for. And once they feel your presence, something inside them awakens a spark that says, let's go somewhere together. Because being with you is wonderful, but sharing the world with you, that's where their heart truly comes alive. 2. Turn life into a shared adventure. To your dog, the world outside isn't just sidewalks and fences. It's a living story waiting to be explored, one scent, one sound, one heartbeat at a time. Every leaf that falls, every gust of wind that carries a new smell is an invitation to feel alive. And the only thing that makes it perfect is you walking beside them. When you take your dog on the same route every day, they remember it by heart. They know every corner, every tree, every smell. It's safe, but it's not exciting anymore. Dogs, just like us, crave small surprises. A new park, a new street, a few minutes off the leash to sniff freely. These are adventures to them. You don't need mountains or beaches. Sometimes the best adventure is simply turning left instead of right. There's a kind of magic in letting your dog lead the way. Watch how their nose lifts, how their tail wags faster, how their eyes light up when they discover something new. That spark of joy is them saying, "Thank you for coming into my world." Every time you say, "Let's go," it's not just another walk, it's a promise that life with you will never feel dull. But when you keep them confined to the same sights, the same patterns, the same path, their world quietly shrinks. They start to look less curious, less alive. The light fades a little. So tomorrow maybe take a different turn. Let them sniff that bush they've always been curious about. Let them wander for a few minutes while you stand still and just watch. Feel their joy, their energy, their gratitude for such a simple act. Because to your dog, adventure isn't measured in miles, it's measured in moments shared with you. And every new step you take together deepens the invisible thread that ties your hearts as one. 3. Care for their health as a promise. Your dog can't tell you when something hurts. They can't say my stomach feels off or that food made me sick. All they have are small signs: the way they move, how they eat, how they breathe when they sleep. And in those quiet details, they're hoping you'll notice. Caring for your dog's health isn't just about vet visits or feeding good food. It's a silent promise, a way of saying, I see you. I'm here to protect you. When you gently brush their coat, clean their ears, or trim their nails, you're not just keeping them tidy. You're telling them they matter, that their comfort is your responsibility. Dogs can't understand words like care or prevention, but they feel it in your hands. They know when you move slowly, when your touch is soft, when your eyes pay attention. It tells them they're safe. According to the American Kennel Club, dogs cared for with consistent grooming, balanced nutrition, and daily check-ins live longer and show less anxiety. But more than numbers, it's the emotional connection that grows, because every act of care is a form of love made visible. Neglect doesn't always come from cruelty, sometimes it's just distraction. But to a dog, missing those little signs can mean pain they never deserved to bear alone. So tonight, when they curl up beside you, take a moment to really look at them. Notice the little things, the softness of their fur, the way they breathe, the trust in how they let go beside you. Your hands, your eyes, your time, they are your promise. And when your dog feels that care, something deep inside them relaxes. They know that no matter what, they can rest easy, because love to them is the gentle kind, the kind that keeps them healthy, safe, and at peace. 4. Speak their language. Your dog listens to more than your words. They listen to the rhythm of your breathing, the softness in your tone, the kindness behind your gestures. They feel every emotion you hide, even the ones you never say out loud. To them, language isn't made of words, it's made of energy. When you speak gently, when your voice carries warmth, your dog doesn't just hear you, they feel you. Every calm sentence tells them, "You're safe." Every soft look says, "I understand." Dogs are masters of body language. A slight movement of your hand, a raised eyebrow, even the way you stand, it all speaks louder than words. That's how they know whether to relax or stay alert. When you yell or tense up, even if you don't mean to, they absorb that energy like a sponge. Their tail lowers. Their eyes dim. They think they did something wrong when all they really did was feel your storm. But when your voice turns gentle, when your face softens, something magical happens. Their ears perk up, their tail wags slowly, and that look, that pure, trusting gaze returns. Science calls it mutual oxytocin bonding. You look at them with love, and their brain releases the same chemical that floods yours when you hold someone dear. It's not training, it's connection. So talk to your dog every day. Tell them they're good, that you're proud, that you're thankful they exist. Even if they don't understand every word, they'll understand the love behind it, because to them, your voice is home. And once you learn to speak their language, the language of tone, patience, and sincerity, you'll realize something beautiful: your dog has been speaking back to you all along. 5. Give them a place to truly belong. Home means something different to your dog. It isn't the walls, the bed, or the toys scattered across the floor. Home to them is you. The sound of your footsteps, the way your voice fills the room, the scent that tells them everything is okay. Dogs don't ask for grand things. They don't dream of castles or soft pillows. What they long for is safety, not the kind locked behind doors, but the kind that lives in your consistency. When you feed them at the same time each day, when you come home and greet them the same way, it tells them, the world is still safe. You're still mine. They feel peace in your patterns. The sound of the leash clicking, the rustle of your jacket, even the sigh you make before bed, it all becomes their lullaby. That's how they know life is stable. That's how they trust the world won't fall apart overnight. When dogs don't have that sense of belonging, they drift. Their eyes wander, their body stays tense, their sleep grows restless. They start to worry that the love they once knew might vanish someday. And no creature, human or not, deserves to live with that kind of fear. So build them a world they can count on. Keep the rituals. Say their name softly when you walk through the door. Let them know that no matter how chaotic life gets, they still have a place that's theirs, in your arms, in your home, in your heart. Because when your dog truly feels they belong, everything about them changes. Their tail wags slower, steadier. Their eyes look softer. Their whole being relaxes in quiet trust. It's as if they're saying, I don't just live here, I'm loved here. And once they have that, nothing in the world can take it away. 6. Let them sleep near you. When your dog curls beside you at night, it's more than comfort, it's trust. In that quiet darkness, when the world goes silent, they choose to rest where they feel safest, next to you. That small body pressed against your leg, that soft breathing, it's their way of saying, I'm home. For a dog, sleeping close is more than affection. It's instinct. In the wild, dogs sleep beside their pack to survive. It's how they protect one another, by staying near. And when your dog curls up next to you, they're not being clingy. They're saying, "You're my family. You're my safety." Sometimes people push their dogs away thinking they need space or discipline, but to your dog, that rejection cuts deep. They don't understand rules, they only feel distance. They wait by the door, they lie at your feet, they curl on the cold floor beside your bed, hoping that one day you'll let them closer again. Letting your dog sleep near you doesn't spoil them, it heals them. It builds something unspoken, a kind of wordless peace that lingers in both your hearts. When they fall asleep to the rhythm of your breathing, they feel protected. And in return, they protect you in ways you'll never fully see, staying alert in dreams, waking at every sound, always ready to guard the one they love most. So tonight, before you turn off the light, look at them. Notice how they watch you, waiting for permission to stay close. Let them. Let that warmth press against you. Feel how their breath slows when they know they're allowed to stay. That's trust, pure, unconditional, sacred. Because in that silence, when your dog sleeps by your side, the distance between two species disappears. There's only love, quiet, loyal, everlasting. 7. Gently acknowledge their efforts. Every day your dog tries in their own quiet ways to make you proud. They bring you toys, sit when you ask, wait by the door, or wag their tail just to see your smile. They may not understand human words, but they understand the feeling that follows that flash of joy in your voice when you say, "Good job." Those two little words mean everything. When you praise your dog, their whole body lights up. Their heart beats faster, their tail becomes a celebration. To them, your approval is love made visible. They don't care about being perfect, they just want to know they made you happy. So praise them often. Not just when they do something right, but when they simply try. When they wait patiently, when they greet you with excitement, when they lie quietly by your side, that's them choosing love over and over again. A gentle word, a kind look, a soft pat on the head, that's all it takes to fill their little world with meaning. Because dogs don't measure love in grand gestures. They measure it in the warmth of your voice and the attention in your eyes. When you forget to acknowledge them, they notice. The wag slows. The spark fades, the joy in their routine dulls just a bit. Not out of anger, but confusion. They start to wonder, did I do something wrong? So next time your dog looks up at you waiting, hoping, take a second. Smile. Say their name with love. Let them see that they still make your heart happy. Because to them, your smile is the biggest reward of all. And when you show them that appreciation, they'll give it back in ways you can't imagine, not through words, but through loyalty, patience, and a love that never fades. 8. Respect their fears. When your dog gets scared by thunder, fireworks, or even the sound of a vacuum, they're not being dramatic. They're being honest. Fear's their body's way of saying, "I don't understand what's happening. Please keep me safe." And in those moments, they look to you not as an owner, but as their world. They search your face for calm, for assurance, for safety. They wait to see if you'll laugh, scold, or simply stay. Because how you react teaches them whether their fear is safe to feel. When you laugh at their trembling or ignore their panic, something inside them breaks a little. They start to hide their fear instead of seeking comfort. And with every moment they face alone, their trust fades. Not because they stop loving you, but because they stop believing that you'll understand. The truth is, dogs don't need you to fix their fears. They just need you to stand with them through it. To sit quietly when thunder roars. To speak softly when they shake. To let your hand rest gently on their fur until the storm passes. That's all. That's enough. Fear shared is fear healed. When your dog realizes that their shaking doesn't make you turn away, that you stay calm and steady, they learn something far more powerful than bravery. They learn faith. So the next time your dog flinches at a noise or hides behind you, don't rush to correct them. Just be there. Let your stillness become their peace. Let your calm become their courage. Because one day when life gets loud again and you're the one who's scared or broken, they'll remember what you taught them. They'll sit beside you just like you did for them. Quiet, loyal, unshakable. 9. Maintain their routine. Your dog's world is built on rhythm. They don't wear watches, they don't count days. They follow the steady heartbeat of routine. When they eat, when they walk, when they hear your footsteps at the same time, each day it becomes the melody of their life. To a dog, predictability is peace. They find comfort in the familiar. The sound of the leash being clipped on the smell of breakfast, the quiet rustle of your clothes before a walk. Each repetition tells them, you can relax. Nothing bad is coming. Life is safe. When that rhythm breaks, when walks are missed, meals come late, or you disappear longer than usual, they don't get angry. They get confused. Their world loses balance. They start to wait by the door longer, pacing in circles, wondering if they did something wrong. Consistency doesn't just shape their schedule, it shapes their heart. According to animal behaviorists, dogs with stable routines show less anxiety and live more balanced, joyful lives. They sleep better. They trust deeper. They know what to expect, and that knowledge gives them peace. So keep their world steady. Feed them at the same time. Walk them when you usually do. Keep small rituals alive. The morning greeting, the evening cuddle, the simple, see you soon before you leave. Because to your dog, these aren't habits. They're promises. Every repeated act tells them, I'll be here. You can count on me. And that certainty is everything. It's how love feels safe. And once your dog learns that rhythm, once their days begin and end with you, something beautiful happens. They stop worrying about tomorrow. They stop waiting by the door. They simply live knowing their world is steady, because it beats in time with yours. 10. Say their name with love. To your dog, their name isn't just a sound. It's a melody that means you're here. It's the bridge between two hearts that don't speak the same language yet understand each other completely. Every time you say their name softly, their ears perk up, their tail wags, and their eyes light with recognition. In that single word, they hear safety, love, belonging. They don't care how it sounds, they care how you say it. Your tone is everything. When your voice is calm and gentle, your dog feels loved. When it's harsh or impatient, they shrink inside. They don't understand the reason behind the tone, they only know how it makes them feel. To them, your voice is home. Think about it, their whole life revolves around that sound. It's the first word they learn, the one they listen for when you come through the door, the one that can pull them back from fear, from doubt, from loneliness. Their name spoken with warmth tells them, you matter to me. So say it often. Whisper it when you pass them in the hallway. Murmur it when they're sleeping. Let your voice be soft like sunlight through the window. Let it remind them that even in silence they are loved. Because one day their name will echo in your memory, in the sound of paws on the floor, in the jingle of a collar, in the quiet spaces of your home. And when it does, you'll realize that every time you spoke their name with love, you were giving them forever. To your dog, love isn't in the big moments, it's in the small ones. In the way you look at them, in the softness of your voice, in the time you choose to stay. They won't remember the toys or the fancy beds. They'll remember the nights you sat beside them when they were scared, the walks where you let them lead, the gentle hand that said, I'm here. Our dogs live shorter lives than we do, but in their eyes, every small act of love stretches into forever. So make every moment count. Speak gently. Stay close. Say their name with love. 1. Be present in their world. Do you know that to a dog, even a minute of you truly being with it is more precious than hours while your mind is elsewhere? In their world, time isn't measured by clocks, but by the moments that include you. When you put your phone down, sit beside them quietly. No talking. No thinking. That is when their heart most deeply feels your love. A gentle look, a soft stroke, or just your breath. Close by. These are the ties of connection they understand more than any words. You don't have to take them somewhere grand or buy fancy toys. What they need is simply your full, sincere presence. When you are truly there, their eyes change, more peaceful, warmer, as if to say, thank you for being here. Sad truth, many dogs grow up and leave, while their owners remain busy working to love them later. With dogs, later doesn't exist. Every morning they wait for you to wake. Every evening they sit by the door for you to return. Those are opportunities for them to live that love. Set aside at least 10 minutes a day just to be with them. No TV, no phone, no work. Sit, breathe together, play a bit, or just be quiet side by side. That is how you tell them, you matter to me. Don't let precious years slip by unconsciously, because for dogs, love doesn't lie in promises of. Later it lives in every look, every smile, every moment you truly appear. And when you do that, they'll see you not only as their owner, but as their entire world. And when you enter their world fully, you'll discover a miracle. What they long for most is to walk with you outside, where each step, each breath becomes a joyful shared adventure. How to turn life into a shared adventure. To a dog, the world beyond the yard isn't just the familiar path or corner park. It's a living universe where every leaf, every blade of grass, every scent tells a new story. Each time you say, "Let's go," their eyes brighten as though you've opened a door to happiness. They don't need far-flung travel or elaborate plans. What they need is you, someone to walk with, to sniff with, to listen with. Instead of always going the same route, vary your paths. Wander down a new street, pause in a different park, let them sniff every patch of earth. To you it may feel small, but to them it's an unfolding journey. Dogs live by curiosity. Every strange sound, every new odor makes their hearts race. When you let them lead, sometimes you're saying, "Today you explore, I'm your companion." That feeling builds confidence, joy, and binds you more deeply. Actually, for dogs, the joy is not in the destination, it's in walking side by side with you. If you persist in the same route, same schedule, same loop, eventually they too feel that boredom creeping. A small change, a new park, a morning walk instead of evening can light up their whole day. Let your life and your dog's life form colorful memories. The first time they smelled rain, the first time they ran through grass, or the first time you watched the sunset together in silence. These scrawny moments become the treasures their heart keeps. Because truly, for a dog, when you open the door to walk, it isn't just a walk, it's an invitation of love. Come, let's discover together. And when you see that sparkle in their eyes, understand their happiness is simple walking with you, being allowed to see the world, exploring side by side. 3. Care for their health as a promise. A dog cannot say today, "I ache," or "This food hurts my stomach," yet it always hopes you will see, not with words, but with love. When you care for their health, you do more than tend their body. You uphold a silent promise: "I will protect you." We often think loving a dog means feeding it well, walking it daily, buying cute toys. But true love lies in the small day-to-day acts: brushing their coats so it doesn't tangle, wiping their eyes, checking ears, trimming nails, caring for their teeth. These actions are the language of caring, which dogs understand more deeply than spoken words. If you look closely, you'll notice little signals. Slower steps, tired eyes, a slight sigh. That's how they silently cry for help. And when you notice and gently assist, you give them another day of health, another dawn running, another moment living. A healthy dog is not only a strong body, but a peaceful soul. When they feel clean, comfortable, without pain, their eyes shine, their steps are lighter, and their faith in you becomes ever deeper. They understand that you don't love only when they are perfect, you love also when they are weak, when they need you most. Never treat caring for their health as a duty. See it as a ceremony of love. Because every time you check, every time you gently attend, you reinforce the invisible thread binding two hearts of different species but shared feeling. Maybe in the moment you bend to brush their fur or clean their paws, they cannot hear your voice, yet they feel it all, that you care, that you are not going to abandon. That is what every dog longs for: an owner imperfect but gentle and faithful. Because to them, health is not just life, it's the faith that we will be together a little longer. 4. Speak their language. Dogs don't understand every word you say, but they feel every vibration in your voice. They don't need perfect commands or flawless training. What they need is gentleness in tone, a peaceful vibration behind your words, the calm heartbeat beneath your speech. When you speak softly with warmth in your eyes, they don't just hear, they feel. One heartfelt good boy can make that tail wag until it tires. The smile in your voice can calm their anxiety. With dogs, your emotional state is the map their feelings follow. The calmer, softer, more sincere you are, the more secure and trusting they become. Don't hesitate to talk with your dog as with a friend. Share what you feel, call their name in a tender tone. You'll see their ears flick, their eyes raise as if saying, "I understand." Sometimes no words are needed. Just sit, place your hand on them, breathe in sync. In those moments, two souls, though different in species, find resonance. People say love needs no words. With a dog, that is truer than ever. They listen not with ears but hearts. They hear the warmth in your voice, the softness in your touch, the sincerity in your gaze. So let each phrase you share with them be a gentle melody. Speak less but from your heart. And remember, your voice can be the safest sound they know. Even if the world bustles and roars, if they hear you call their name softly, they will feel I'm home. Thus, don't speak only to command, speak to love. Don't gesture, listen with your heart. When you learn to speak with your soul, you'll find they are already responding with their eyes, their breath, their wagging tail. 5. Give them a place to truly belong. Dogs don't need a grand house or fancy bed. What they need is a space where they feel safe, where they know that whatever happens, you will be there. To them, home is not four walls, but your warmth, familiar footsteps, your voice they recognize even when asleep. Every day, a dog lives through the routines you create. Mealtimes, walks, your laughter, the soft call of their name. These, though simple, form the foundation that gives their life order and meaning. When routines break, when your attention fades, they fall into confusion, a fear only steady love can soothe. Dogs sense safety not from locked doors, but from consistency in your heart. When you stay consistent, gentle, and patient, they learn to trust, to believe you'll return after you leave, to believe you won't abandon them even through hard days, to believe when they hear your voice, all fears fade. And when that trust is built day by day, you'll see a wondrous change. Their eyes soften, their breathing eases, and they lean their head on your knee with a whisper, "This is where I belong." Nothing moves a dog more than knowing it's wholly accepted, not because it's perfect, not because it's pretty, but simply because it is. One true home for a dog is not luxury. It's love repeated each day, a space where it can show its full emotions without fear of scolding or abandonment. If you give it that belonging, it will answer with the purest love, possible unwavering loyalty, no conditions, no bargaining, just a devotion that gives everything back to you. 6. Celebrate their joy daily. If you pay attention, as soon as you smile, your dog seems to understand something. It leaps, wags, circles you as though your happiness lights up its entire world. For a dog, your joy is its happiness. Dogs don't wait for special days, don't need birthdays or holidays. They celebrate every day simply because you remain. A delicious meal, a call from you, a look. Those are the festivals in its world. So let each day hold a bit of joy. Don't skip those minutes to play. Throw a ball, run around in the yard, or give it a big hug. They won't remember what toy you bought, but they will remember how you loved by sharing your laughter. A dog's joy is simple, and in that simplicity it teaches us to be glad in small things, to appreciate what's present, to be grateful for what is. When you take time to rejoice with your dog, you're telling it, life is beautiful. You plant trust and confidence. You assure its heart, I choose you day after day. You also remind yourself, love doesn't have to grand. It lives in daily smiles, soft eyes, gentle presence. So celebrate small moments. Laugh at its silly antics. Stroke it when it lies close. Look deep into those bright eyes and realize that joy is not just an animal's happiness, but ours too. Don't let these simple joys slip by, because one day when you look back, those ordinary minutes will be the ones you treasure most. And as you share joy with it day after day, you'll find happiness isn't far. It's here in the soft gaze, in quiet breath, in the small being that only knows to love you with all its heart. 7. Be there calm in the storm. In a dog's life, not every day is sunshine. Some nights bring thunder that makes them tremble. Some days they don't understand why you are sad, so they lie beside you, eyes worried. There will be moments when they are scared, confused, when the world seems too loud. In such times, the only thing they need is you. They don't need explanations. They don't need perfect words. They need your calm breath, the softness in your hand on their head. To a dog, your emotions guide theirs. If you remain calm, they calm. If you react in fear, they echo it. Many owners don't realize that a dog's peace begins with the dog's person's heart. When you are patient, gentle, without anger, you teach them you are safe. And in those moments, however loud the world becomes, if they hear you softly call their name, they will know there is one place untouched by fear, and that place is you. Dogs may forget what toys you bought, but they remember how you held them when terrified. They may not understand promises, but they feel peace in your steady presence. And it is in those moments when you are their anchor through storms that love becomes strongest. Be their calm in storms. When they are ill, lost trembling from fireworks, don't shoo them away or scold. Sit beside them, extend your hand. Let them know that though the world is fearful, there is one safe place, you. Because someday they might no longer run to greet you each evening. But if you have been their calm in every storm, they will depart with a contented heart, because they once felt love so gentle, so whole, that fear never overcame it. Perhaps that gentle love will return someday in another life, another dog where familiar eyes meet tail wags, as though nothing ever changed nor ended. Those 7 truths: presence, shared adventure, care, speaking their language, belonging, daily joy. Calm in storms may sound simple, but to a dog, they are everything. They don't ask you to be perfect. They ask you to be real. A dog's love is quiet, not complex. It lives in the morning gaze, in the breathing beside you at night, in the tail's soft wag when you call. If you can respond each day with those little things, you give it the greatest gift, the love it always dreamed of. Your dog. 1. Give your dog undivided attention. There's something many of us fail to see. Sometimes what a dog needs most from us isn't food, not a toy, but simply our full presence in their world. When was the last time you truly looked into your dog's eyes? Not a glance while feeding or walking, but a genuine look where you stop, put down your phone, don't think about work, just you and them. To a dog, that moment is more precious than any gift, because when you look at them with full attention, they feel I matter. I am loved. Dogs live fully in the present. They don't worry about tomorrow or dwell on the past, but they sense very clearly when their owner isn't there in that moment. When you pet them while watching your screen or reply to them with a detached tone, that little heart understands that you're somewhere else, not beside them. For a dog, 10 minutes of you truly present is worth more than hours together while your mind is elsewhere. It might be just minutes sitting side by side, your hand resting lightly on them, hearing their breathing, feeling the warmth of their fur. Or an evening watching sunset together where you don't need to speak, just be there. When you truly show up, you tell your dog, you are part of my world, and that makes them calmer, happier, and trust you exponentially more. Conversely, if days pass in haste, your footsteps recede and they still wait for your gaze, that quiet loneliness gradually carves itself into their little hearts. Try to carve out those full moments every day. Set your phone aside, lean down to them, look into their eyes and smile, because sometimes all a dog needs to feel happy is to know you see them. Don't let a day come when you finally want to stop and look, only to realize that those eyes are no longer there, because a dog's love for you, always waiting, always loyal, only needs you to come back. They'll forgive immediately, as if no gap ever existed. Shato Kiaburnit. 2. Let your dog explore the world. Your dog's life revolves around you and around the world you let them see. Every street you choose, every place you pause, becomes its entire universe viewed through small eyes. So one of the most wonderful gifts you can give your dog is not just good food, but the chance to expand their world a little every day. Recall the last time you took your dog walking. Did you follow the same route as usual? Turn left at that corner, pause at that tree, then head back. For you, it's routine. For them, it's a wall, repeated day after day. Dogs are born to explore, to smell, to listen, to see with all their senses. When you only ever walk them along the same scenery, you're inadvertently narrowing their greatest joy, curiosity. Try changing it up. A new street, a different park, a morning walk instead of evening. You'll see the magic ears, perk noses, sniff furiously. Paws bounce with excitement. Every leaf, every breeze, every fresh scent makes them come alive. What may feel routine to you is an adventure to them. Sometimes don't lead, let them guide you. Walk at the pace of their nose's interest. You'll be astonished at how your dog might show you things you never noticed: the scent of earth after rain, rustle in the foliage, dappled sunlight shining on fur like golden honey. When you allow your dog to explore, you tell them, I trust you. And the trust becomes the invisible but strongest bond between human and dog, because every step, every glance back at you carries this small joy. My human is still here, walking with me, not leaving me behind. Don't let their life shrink to 4 walls and a few familiar routes. Make each day a journey, not necessarily far, just different. A new path can change their mood for the whole day. A stroll filled with your laughter can become a memory they carry for life. Because for a dog, the simplest happiness is walking beside the one they love, given freedom to see the world. 3. Care for health as a promise. Maybe you've never thought about it, but for a dog, each time you brush their fur, clean their ears, or check their paws, it's a moment when you speak a promise: I will protect you. Dogs cannot express pain in words. They can't say I'm tired or this hurts. Instead, they fall silent. They subtly change routines, run less, eat slower, avoid touches. And unless you're sensitive, those signs can vanish without notice. But deep inside, they still hope that you, the one they trust most, will see the pain they can't speak. Caring for their health isn't just duty, it's an act of love. It's the small things you do: daily proper bathing, trimming nails, grooming, dental care, keeping them warm, allowing rest when they are weary. Each small act sends a message: I'm here, I'm noticing, I care. Don't wait until your dog stops eating or retreats quietly before you worry. Develop the habit of observing tiny behavior changes: that limp, that dull coat, slower steps. Often the smallest difference is their silent plea. And don't forget caring for their spirit too. A healthy dog isn't just one with glossy fur or a sprightly gait. It's one with a bright eye, a wagging tail, and peaceful sleep. Their health is the result of trust, love, and the peace you bring them every day. When you bring them to the vet, don't just see it as an appointment. See it as a commitment: I will walk with you to the end in every moment. Because true love is not only cuddles and play, but caring when they are weak, shielding them when they are hurt. Dogs never ask you to be perfect. They only need you to try to notice, to care, to act with love in small daily ways. And in the end, when they lie peacefully beside you, eyelids gently closing, you will know every grooming touch, every check, every gentle care was not in vain. Because to them, those acts were not mere duty, but proof of love kept like a promise. 4. Speak the language of the heart. Have you noticed that your dog understands you more than you think? They don't need to hear "I love you" to know you love them. They feel that love in your gaze, your tone when you call their name, your every breath saturated with sincerity. Dogs don't listen with ears, they listen with hearts. They don't grasp every word you utter, but they understand the energy behind it. When you speak softly, their eyes brighten, tail wags, body relaxes like they are smiling. But if your tone becomes sharp, breath hasty, gaze tense, they shrink inward, not out of fear, but because their little heart does not understand why the one they love has become so distant. Communicating with a dog is not just speak. They understand, they obey. It's an emotional connection. When you gently say "good boy" or "come here," what delights them is not the praise itself, but the warm melody in your voice. They recognize that gentleness, like familiar music, making their world safer and richer in affection. So speak to your dog daily, not just with words, but with how you look, how you touch, how you are present. A soft voice when they are afraid, a smile when they glance at you, or simply inhaling slowly when they come near. These are the heart's language that dogs understand better than anyone else. Even more importantly, let your voice be the safest sound they know. When you call their name softly, when you whisper, "It's okay," that little heart instantly calms. Because to them, you are the sound of safety, the beat of home. Never use harsh words or sharp tones to discipline. You may make them obey, but what you risk losing is trust. Once that little heart is cracked by the voice of one they trust, it's long to rebuild. And love once wounded by the tone of the one they believe in leaves an invisible fracture. Speak to your dog with gentleness, patience, sincerity. Your voice is the bridge between two souls of different kinds, the way your heart and theirs meet, even when words aren't enough. And if one day you don't know what to say, simply look at them, smile, let your eyes speak it all. Because sometimes love needs no words, only to be felt. 5. Give them a place to belong. To you, home is the place to return after a long day. But to your dog, you are that home. Not walls, not a soft bed or a food bowl, but your warmth, your voice, your heartbeat. When you're there, they feel safe. When you're gone, their world feels hollow. A dog doesn't long for luxury. They only need the certainty that you will always be there. That no matter what the day holds at dusk, They can rest their head on your lap, close their eyes in comfort. That stability, something we often take for granted, is the foundation of a dog's happiness. They sense every fluctuation in your life, your busyness, your fatigue, your worry. And though they may not understand fully, they quietly come close, rest their head on you, or lie beside you as if to say, "I'm still here." That is not instinct. It's the purest connection of two hearts. One side silent, the other unsure, both bridging the space with presence. Create for them a space of belonging, a familiar blanket, a corner with your scent, a spot where they can retreat and feel safe. Don't ever push them away just because of your mood. In that moment, you're not just pushing them out of a room, but out of the feeling of safety they thought you guarded. Maintain routines, feeding times, walks, morning greetings, the hand on their head before bed. These things seem small, but it's their repetition that weaves a safe world in which your dog feels, "I have a place. I am not forgotten." And then when you come home, hearing paws scurry, tail wag, uncontrollably bright eyes, that is pure joy. Because for a dog, every return, even the thousandth, still feels like a miracle. Don't let the home in their heart grow cold. Because your dog's love doesn't demand much, it just needs to know you will always come back. 6. Let the dog lead. Usually we see human holding, leash dog following. But sometimes for a few precious moments of a walk, try to reverse that. Let your dog lead you. It sounds simple, but to a dog it's a rare taste of freedom in a world of leashes, rules, commands. When you loosen that leash, let them decide direction, pace, where to sniff or pause. You tell them, "I trust you." And in those minutes, you'll see your dog change, brighter, more eager, full of life. Tail wagging wildly, feet, quick eyes shining like a child allowed to roam. Each sniff, each glance back at you seems to ask, "Can we go here?" And you nod and they leap. Dogs are born to be curious. They don't need extravagance, just the freedom to be alive. A new corner, a path less traveled to them, that's a story, a great joy. And when you walk beside them, letting them guide, you'll see life differently, slower, gentler, trusting. You're no longer owner and pet, but two souls journeying in one rhythm. So occasionally, let your dog lead the way. Let them teach you how to see the world with innocence, to inhale joy, to walk simply. You'll find that in their bright eyes there's freedom you forgot you had. And when they stop and look back, tail wagging gently as if to ask, "Shall we go on?" smile and answer with your eyes, "Let's go, my friend." Because to a dog, walking with you any direction is the greatest adventure. 7. Vary the journey every day. Have you noticed your dog never tires of walking? Be it morning or dusk, at the mere sound of the leash, their eyes brighten, body pulses with excitement. But for them, the joy isn't just being outside, it's discovering. Humans seek new things to refresh emotions, a new cafe, a trip, a fresh read. Dogs, a different street, a new grassy patch, an unfamiliar scent, that's enough to enchant them for a day. They live through smell, through ears, through curious hearts. Each small turn, each new direction can open enormous joy. Yet many of us walk our dogs along the same route day after day. Same street, same corners, same tree. For you, it's convenience. For them, it's a shrinking world gradually narrowing. Try changing a little turn, a different corner. Go past those extra houses or go opposite your usual path. You'll see your dog revive, nose-sniffing steps, lighter eyes eager with curiosity and joy. A fresh current of energy flows, making them feel as if they've unlocked another joy in their world. And as you explore with them, the bond between you deepens. Because every new discovery isn't just about the dog seeing the world, it's you seeing them. You'll catch them pausing at a flower, inhaling each leaf, then looking at you as if saying, "Look, this is wonderful." In that moment, you're not leading, you're walking with. Don't fear going slightly out of your comfort, because for a dog, each day is new only when something changes. Each path, every scent becomes a story, a memory. And when they look at you in that excitement, you'll realize they don't need a vast world. They just need you to let their world grow a bit more every day. And maybe in that journey, you'll find the small joys you once lost, the joy of gazing at the world anew as your happy dog guides you through life. By now, you may have realized something. The love a dog gives you doesn't need teaching, and their loyalty needs no demand. They just need to be understood through action, through presence, through heart. 15 little acts, when woven together, become the entire world. Of a dog being seen walking with you, listened to, cared for, and most importantly, belonging to you. Dogs don't measure time like humans. They don't wait for special occasions. For them, every day beside you is a day of happiness. Every gentle pat, every soft word, every time you come home is a precious gift their small hearts never forget. They won't be by your side forever. Their lifespan is shorter, but the love they give is longer than any measure of time. So let every day together become a treasure. 1. Be with them in their world. Do you know what your dog craves more than treats or toys? Moments when you are truly present in their world. They don't live in the past or dream about the future. Their entire happiness is wrapped up in the present, where your breath, your gaze, your quiet energy mean everything. Just 10 minutes a day, putting your phone down, sitting beside them, gently touching their head, or going for a slow, unrushed walk is the most meaningful gift you can give to a creature who loves you with all their heart. Those moments say, "You matter. You are loved. You are not forgotten." Don't let busy days make you forget. Every day you're away feels even shorter in their already short life. Have you ever turned everything off and just sat with your dog, letting them rest their head on your leg? Tell me what that felt like. Because when you step into their world, you realize their happiness isn't in things. It's in the journey, with you. And that journey begins when you turn every day into a tiny adventure. 2. Turn life into a shared adventure. When you say "let's go" to you, it might just be a walk, but to your dog, it's a magical invitation to explore the world. Every new street, every falling leaf, every scent is an adventure that lights up their soul. They don't need a big trip, just the freedom to sniff, to lead, to discover. Sometimes let them choose the direction. Pause when they pause. See the world through their wide, curious eyes, where everything is worthy of wonder. Even a street you've walked 100 times can become paradise if you both approach it with joy and curiosity. If you always follow the same path, that spark inside them might start to dim. But when you switch things up, you're giving them a new door to happiness. Tell me, when was the last time you let your dog lead the way? Their lives are short. Don't let their steps stay confined to the same tiny circle. And within these little adventures, one thing matters most: keeping them healthy so that journey can last as long as possible. 3. Care for their health as a promise. Dogs can't say "I don't feel well today," or "this food upsets my stomach," but their bodies and eyes whisper if you're willing to listen. Caring for their health isn't just feeding them or taking them to the vet. It's a quiet promise that says you'll never suffer in silence. Every time you brush their coat trim, their nails, wipe their eyes, or check their teeth, you're speaking the language of love and responsibility. These small actions bring them a sense of safety, attention, and deep comfort. A healthy dog is a happy dog, not just because they feel good, but because they feel your care in every gentle touch. Don't wait until they retreat into a quiet corner to realize they've been in pain all along. When you notice even the smallest change, a subtle limp, a quiet sigh, a gentle lick, you're honoring the most sacred part of your bond, caring as a promise. Have you ever noticed your dog saying something with just their eyes? Because sometimes the most powerful way to say "I love you" is through your quiet, consistent care. And once your heart truly understands that language, you'll realize they've been understanding you all along. 4. Speak their language. Your dog doesn't need eloquence, just honesty. They don't grasp every word, but they feel the energy behind your voice, whether it's warmth or tension, love or irritation. Each time you gently say their name, their ears perk up, tail wags wildly, and their tiny heart jumps with joy. But when your tone is harsh, even unintentionally, their eyes dim and their spirit draws back. To your dog, your voice is the emotional compass of their entire world. Speak to them like a dear friend with gentleness and patience. When you whisper "good boy" or "I'm here," you're not just comforting them, you're speaking from the heart. Because dogs don't need fancy words. They just need to hear your love, even if it's just one sentence a day. Do you talk to your dog the way you would a loved one? because when you speak with feeling, you'll see they've always been listening with their soul. 5. Give them a place to truly belong. A warm bed alone doesn't make a home. To a dog, true belonging means being with you in a space that feels safe, steady, and loved. They know every sound in your house, your footsteps, your voice, even your breath while you sleep. It's not silence they fear, it's being alone. It's not darkness they dread, it's your absence. When you give them a consistent space, familiar routines, and soft, loving touches, you're saying, "This is your home. You are safe here." Don't just give them a place to sleep, give them a place to belong. Because when a dog feels they have a place in your heart, they will stay loyal no matter how the world changes. And when they look up at you with those shining eyes, you'll understand to them you are their whole world. 6. Show affection through touch. Nothing tells a dog you are loved more clearly than a gentle, affectionate touch. When you stroke their head, run your hand down their back, or let them rest on your lap, they don't just feel comfort, they feel seen. Touch is the primal language of love, crossing every boundary between human and animal. A light hug during a thunderstorm, a quiet pet while they nap. These small gestures are unspoken promises that say, you are not alone. Touch them not just when you're happy, but when you're tired or busy. To them, even the smallest stroke can wash away a day's worth of worry. Have you ever let your dog rest their head in your hand and felt their heartbeat slow? Try it. You'll realize that love doesn't always need words, sometimes it just needs the warmth of your hand. 7. Allow them play and freedom. Play isn't just fun, it's how dogs feel alive. When they run, jump, chase a ball, or spin in circles under the sun, they're not just playing, they're celebrating life. Don't keep them locked behind four walls too long. Let them breathe. Roll in the grass, chase the breeze, be silly. They don't need expensive toys. They just need you to play with them truly, wholeheartedly. When was the last time you laughed out loud with your dog? Because to them, that moment of joy is the purest happiness this life can offer. 8. Respect their fears. Don't laugh when your dog is afraid. Thunder, fireworks, or strange noises may seem harmless to you, but to them it's overwhelming. When you stay calm, don't scold, and don't force, you're teaching them. You don't have to face this alone. A gentle stroke, a soft word, that's all it takes to help them feel safe. Dogs don't need you to be fearless for them, they just need you to stay by their side. Remember, they don't understand the world like you do, but they do trust your emotions completely. If you laugh when they're scared, it breaks their heart because they think their fear is something to be ashamed of. Tell me, when was the last time your dog came to you during a storm or a loud noise? Because how you respond in their weakest moment, that's the truest measure of your love. 9. Let them rest beside you. Have you ever woken up to find your dog curled up beside you, breathing softly in sync with you? That's not just routine, it's how they say, "I feel safe with you." Dogs don't sleep beside you for warmth. They do it because you are their safest place. When you let them rest their head on your leg or sleep by your bed, you're telling them, you belong here. You're loved here. Those quiet shared naps become some of the most beautiful memories they carry. Their lives are short. Don't withhold the comfort of sleeping near the one they trust most. Tonight, try letting your dog curl up next to you and you'll feel it. Peace is sometimes just the breath of a creature who trusts you completely. 10. Say goodbye with love. This is the hardest part to say, but it's the most important. One day they will slow down. Their eyes will fade. Their legs will tremble. Their breath will grow shallow. Don't turn away. Don't be afraid. They don't need you to fix it. They just need you there. When you rest your hand on their head and whisper, "Thank you for being in my life," you give them the greatest gift of all, to leave this world surrounded by love. Dogs aren't afraid of death. They're only afraid you won't be there when it happens. And if your heart aches remembering, know that pain is proof of real love, because love for a dog doesn't end when they leave. It simply changes form, living on in every memory, every quiet corner of your heart. Love them fully today, so that when that day comes, you can smile through the tears and say, "I gave you a life full of love, and you gave me your whole heart in return." Dogs don't need you to be perfect, they just need you to be real. They don't care if you're rich or poor, busy or free, as long as you look at them with gentle eyes and love them with your full presence. Because while you may only be eyed. Part 1. Puppies from 0 to 2 months. The first mistake that may haunt them for life. Have you ever seen someone feed a puppy just a few weeks old with porridge outside milk or soft food and thought, "Poor thing, let me give it a little extra to make it strong"? The painful truth is that act of what seems like love may irrevocably harm the puppy's health. In the first 2 months, a puppy doesn't need anything but its mother's milk. That milk is not just nourishment, it's a biological shield helping them fight disease. In every sip, there are antibodies, warmth security things no other food can replace. If you separate the puppy too soon, or force it to eat other food, you not only harm its fragile digestive system, but you sever the first natural bond of life. The digestive system of a puppy in this stage is like a petal, just unfolding, delicate, vulnerable, not ready to handle heavy fare. One wrong meal can cause diarrhea, dehydration, immune disorders, or long-term intestinal disease. Many puppies thought to be born weak are actually victims of human intervention done too early. But the greatest damage isn't to the stomach, it's to the heart. Puppies separated too early often live with lingering insecurity. They become fearful, clingy, or tremble when alone. Some will never fully learn to trust no matter how much love they receive later. So don't confuse care with impatience. Loving properly sometimes means learning to wait. Let a puppy stay with its mother for at least 8 weeks, enough that they grow under nature's protection, not under human haste. Have you ever adopted a puppy too early? Was it frail, scared, or constantly seeking your warmth? Tell me your story in the comments. Maybe your experience will help someone avoid a mistake many have made. Because in just a few weeks, when that little belly begins to accept real food, another mistake, more common, still waits ahead. And it's one many owners deeply regret. Part 2. Puppies from 2 to 3 months. A little belly needing great care. In this stage, a puppy is like a tiny digestive machine, always hungry, always wanting to eat. But it's here. Many commit a seemingly small error with serious consequences, feeding too few meals per day. Many people think 2 meals a day is enough, just like adult dogs. It sounds reasonable, but imagine giving a newborn baby just 2 meals a day. What would happen? The puppy's weak body cannot endure extended intervals of hunger. Their stomach is small, absorption limited, yet energy spends non-stop for growth. Miss just 1 meal and their blood sugar can drop dangerously low. You might see them trembling, vomiting, staggering, or even passing out, signs of hypoglycemia. I once witnessed a 9-week-old poodle nearly die because its owner forgot the midday meal. Fortunately, it was caught in time, but the outcome could have been catastrophic. At this age, puppies need 4 to 5 small meals daily, spaced evenly. Each meal should be just enough to keep energy stable, not overload them. This helps the gut function better and teaches the puppy a biological rhythm that cares constant, that someone always remembers them. If you're busy, set alarms or get help from family. A few minutes preparing food can save a fragile life. Don't let negligence turn into regret. Do you have tips to remember feeding times or ways to avoid skipped meals when you're at work? Share in the comments. Your experience could help save another puppy's life. And as the puppy grows, its digestive system strengthens, yet many commit the opposite mistake, cutting meals too soon, causing confusion, loss of appetite, and fatigue. That story begins in the next stage. Part 3. Puppies. 3 to 6 months. When you cut meals too early, their body isn't ready. This is when puppies start becoming sturdier, teething, eating well, and playing endlessly. Many see that growth and think, now it's like an adult dog, cut down the meals. And so from 4 or 5 meals, they drop to 2 or 3 abruptly. It sounds rational, but for the puppy's body, it's a real shock. Their digestive system may be stronger, but still not fully stable. If you reduce meals too fast, the stomach must work harder. More acid is produced, and bloating, gas, or refusal to eat can follow. Some become picky, slow to grow, or even fear mealtime, since each meal feels like a battle to their tender stomach. Instead, reduce gradually, from 5 to 4, then to 3. Between each change, wait at least a week for the body to adapt. And most important, keep mealtimes consistent, morning, midday, evening. If you maintain a steady eating rhythm, their body will learn a cycle like ours: eat, play, rest, wait. Many don't realize feeding on schedule helps stabilize hormones in a dog's body. It reduces stress, calms their spirit, and makes them easier to train, especially for sensitive breeds. Poodles, Corgis, Border Collies. Just changing meal times can mean lost sleep, extra barking, or skipping meals for days. Think about this: to us, a meal is trivial. To them, it is the one moment each day to connect with you. They wait at the door, ears up, when they hear the bull tails wag, hoping you'll say it's time. Don't let that moment be disrupted by busyness or neglect. Have you noticed your dog anticipating feeding time, gazing at you long before the bowl is placed? Try recalling that in the comments. Sometimes those small details show how deeply they understand us. And when they surpass 6 months, their feeding rhythm shifts again. If you don't transition right, this mistake can cause stress, disinterest in food, even illness. We'll talk about that now. Part 4. Dogs. 6 months to 1 year. When only 2 meals remain, and why this stage is the trickiest. Around 6 months, your dog's body begins stabilizing. Many breathe a sigh of relief. Now we're past the hard part. 2 meals like adult dogs. But ironically, this stage is when many dogs face digestive problems, refusal to eat, or uncontrolled weight gain, all from sudden human changes. Shifting from 3 meals down to 2 daily, their digestive system must readjust contractions, acid volume, and hunger hormones. If you cut a meal without slightly increasing portion size or keeping consistent times, the dog's body may enter nutritional stress. You may see them eat less, get irritable, or even scratch doors, bark at night. Not out of bad behavior, but because their body is confused. This is when you need to remember a golden rule: don't just feed your dog, feed it on schedule. A light breakfast, a full dinner, that ideal rhythm. If you often delay meals or dump both meals into the evening because you're busy all day, be cautious. A dog's body needs time to digest before sleep. If you let it eat too late, a full stomach leads to higher stress hormones, poor sleep, or subtle stomach pain the next morning. Did you know that eating on schedule helps reduce cortisol, the hormone that makes dogs fearful, shaky, or harder to manage? By feeding consistently, your dog becomes calmer, less destructive, and sometimes surprisingly obedient. If your schedule is chaotic, try reworking it. A gentle early breakfast and peaceful dinner are enough to help your dog feel safe and loved. To them, every meal isn't just nutrition, it's you saying, "I'm still here. I remember you." Do you usually feed your dog at the same time each day? Or do you feed when convenient? Share how you maintain this habit. Perhaps it will help another owner understand the importance of feeding rhythm. Because when your dog becomes fully mature, the smallest error in feeding a wrong mealtime or overly large portion can cause consequences more serious than you'd imagine. Especially for large breeds, a single bad eating habit can become a life-threatening issue. Part 5. Adult dogs. When just 1 meal a day can steal their life. Once a dog is fully grown, many think feeding becomes simpler. 1 meal a day is enough to keep it simple, they say. But that very habit, seemingly convenient, seemingly harmless, kills many dogs each year without their owners even knowing. An adult dog's body, especially medium to large breeds like Goldens, Rottweilers, Great Danes, is highly susceptible to a dangerous condition: gastric torsion bloat. It happens when a dog eats too fast or eats a large amount in one sitting. The stomach expands, presses on other organs, and if not treated quickly, the dog can suffocate or go into shock within hours. Many don't believe it until they see their beloved dog collapse, breathing heavily, abdomen rigid, panic in its eyes. By then, regret is too late. In fact, the American Kennel Club (AKC) recommends that medium to large breeds should eat 2 meals per day, spaced morning and evening. This not only reduces the risk of torsion, but helps stabilize insulin, manage weight, and improve digestive efficiency. If your dog begs for more, don't give in. It's not hunger, it's habit. Instead, hold the feeding schedule firm. Sometimes consistency is a deeper way to express love. But just as vital is how they eat. Many dogs gulp their food like they're afraid of losing their share, and that is a red flag. A meal eaten in fear, swallowed in haste, often carries anxiety, loneliness, or pressure you never knew was there. Help them eat more slowly. Use slow feeder bowls. Hide food in toys, or scatter kibble over a clean floor. When they must search for each bite, the brain is stimulated. The heart rate steadies and psychology calms. Behavior research shows dogs fed this foraging way reduce anxiety noticeably within just 2 weeks. Have you observed how fast your dog eats? Do you think it's truly hungry or afraid of losing its portion? Try sharing that in the comments. Your story might awaken someone else's awareness. And as time marches on, when graying hairs appear around the muzzle and they no longer run like before, feeding must change again, gently, slowly, and with deep love. Part 6. Senior Dogs. When a meal is no longer just nutrition but comfort, time moves faster than we think. One day the once energetic dog that ran circles around you begins to slow. Steps heavier, eyes clouding, breath, short tail wagging more gently. Everything changes, including how they need to be fed. In old age, a dog's digestive system weakens significantly. The liver, kidneys, joints all slow down. Many begin skipping meals, vomiting slightly, or only tasting food before walking away. Don't rush to assume they're just old. The right feeding method now can extend their life by years. Instead of 2 large meals, divide into 3 or 4 smaller meals, soft, easily digestible food, rich in fiber, low in salt. Smaller meals help absorption, reduce strain on liver, kidneys, and stabilize blood sugar. A veterinary study noted that senior dogs given multiple small meals daily not only live longer but suffer less anxiety and sleep better. But the most important part isn't the food itself, it's the feeling of security. Senior dogs need consistent rhythm, fixed feeding times, familiar resting spots, and your reassuring voice. Every meal to them is not just about fullness, but affirmation. I'm still loved. They don't need gourmet dishes, they only need you to sit beside them. Stroke their head, whisper, "Eat, my dear." You might not notice, but in that moment those cloudy eyes will brighten. Because in their heart, you're still their whole world. If your dog is old now, try eating a meal beside them once. Slow down. Watch them chew. Swallow, breathe, glance up toward your eyes. It's not just a meal, it's a memory you'll treasure. Because when their journey nears its end, you'll realize what mattered most was never how much you fed, but how much love you poured into each meal. Looking back from the first bites to the final ones, there will be one thing that makes you smile through tears. They lived fully because you loved them rightly. From the moment they open their eyes to their last breath, a dog's life revolves around simple things: warmth, eye contact, and the meals you offer. To you, it's just filling a bowl. To them, it's a promise that you're still here, still remembering, still loving. Feeding mistakes aren't sins, but the result of loving without full understanding. Everyone does it. Some feed too early, others miss meals, some give too little, some too much. But once you begin to adjust, you give them a gift greater than food: understanding. Remember, feeding dogs properly isn't just so they're healthier, it's so they feel safe, loved, and respected as a family member. Sometimes just a gaze, a gentle voice, a soft hand as you place the bowl, that's enough to make them happy all day long. Because caring for a dog has never been just about filling the bowl. It's how you say, "Thank you for trusting me. Thank you for choosing me to be your whole world." How many meals do you give your dog per day? Have you ever rethought that you could do a bit better, a bit more gently? Share your story in the comments, because your experience might help someone love their pet more wisely. And if this video changed how you look at your dog with more warmth, more understanding, stay tuned. In the next video, we'll talk about 5 small signs your dog is sad and how to make them happy again. Because for them, happiness doesn't lie in expensive things, but in your hand, the one they've waited for all their life.